President. I just wanted to, since we were reflecting on history, I would just like to reflect that I don't think that the founding fathers ever imagined a government the size of our current national government, and also don't think the founding fathers ever envisioned a consistent overspending of government spending versus government revenue that's led to a significant national debt that's a threat to the health and future of our country. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Atkins. Commissioner Gregory Young.
Thank you, Madam President. Okay, I'm going to try to be very brief here.
Take your time.
There's a lot of things that our founding fathers didn't envision. Our founding fathers didn't envision me sitting up here. They never envisioned Black folks having any voting rights. They never envisioned Black people being free. So I think we should always take a rather cautionary position when we reflect upon the relevance of what the so-called founding fathers did as to what's happening here today. Um, what we're realizing here in real time is all of the gaps that are in our Constitution. You know, we've been taught since we were knee-high to a grasshopper how sacred and how ingenious the document that these gentlemen put together was. And what we found out here in real time is all of these holes and gaps that we have a person in the form of Donald Trump who is pressing and he is pressing and he is pressing and probing and probing and probing all of these assumptions that we have lived under and indeed that this country has flourished under. He's testing the courts. He's challenging the courts. He's challenging every institution that we have in America. And so for myself, I choose not to be a passenger. I choose not to be a passenger in the vehicle of change. I choose to be an agent, a driver of change. And I'm not going to sit back and normalize what is going on in this country right now. As someone who is a student of history, that is in possession of a master's degree in history, I find it very, very difficult. I find it very, very challenging to live in this moment, to see all of the ideas that we have cherished, all that these gentlemen who are in these graveyards all over America have fought for. I can tell you, as someone who was less than a month removed from being 17 years old, that was running patrols in the mountains of Korea, walking down the streets of Seoul, Korea, traveling through the Philippines, traveling through Tokyo, traveling through Guam, all over Southeast Asia. I've never been so proud. And what you have to appreciate is that I was someone who grew up in the dirty, dirty Jim Crow South. But for me to be in that uniform and to see how well we were respected all over the world, even as a young Black man, I was so respected for wearing that uniform, to be identified with being in America. The sacrifices that I've had to make, the pain that I live with in my body today. For the first time in my life, I'm ashamed to be an American. I am ashamed of what I see going on in this country. It breaks my heart. I could see this time approaching many years in the past. And it breaks my heart to see so many young men that have given their lives, so many women that have given their lives, and we have politicians, we have elected officials who are not even willing to sacrifice their seats. These cowards I find it unconscionable. So the oath means nothing. I've taken this oath as a 17-year-old. I took it again when I came to work for the Postal Service. I've administered this oath a countless number of times to young people and middle-aged people who have come to work for the Postal Service, that I was responsible for hiring them. I've taken this oath here. Does the oath mean anything? How can we sit back and normalize the fact that we had people who were marching against the citadel of our democracy, tearing down the windows, fighting cops? Some police officers lost their lives. And somehow we think it's okay to pardon those guys and investigate the people who are standing in the breach against this. This ain't normal, y'all. I can't imagine how anybody would vote against any of this, that we're trying to make a statement. And I know I've heard it said here many, many times before, that we should only focus on what's going on locally. Let me tell you something. I have never been one to be silent in times of great crisis, of great urgency. And I didn't sign up to be a commissioner to abdicate my responsibility as a citizen. I'm never going to do that. People who are responsible, people who are true to the cause, don't wait until the danger is right there at our doorstep. It's time to speak out now. It's time to stand up now. And what I'm discovering, that many people, when they're talking about MAGA, what they really mean is they want to return to Jim Crow, but I ain't going back. I'm not going back. I can't speak to the rest of you all, but I'm not going back. I'm not going back to Jim Crow. I know what Jim Crow looks like. I grew up in the dirty, dirty South. I remember seeing the sign say for colored only. I cleaned up the bathrooms. I wiped up the pee of people who worked right beside me simply because of the color of my skin. My classmates, I cleaned up their pee. I'm not going back. I'm not going back. I yield to the chair.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Barrea.